Okay, so this section is not really that difficult, the general idea of it at least, but this section is not going to be on your quiz, and that's just because I'm presenting this to you the class day before the quiz, and I want you to have a day to ask questions before I quiz you on something. So this will be on your test, but it will not be on your quiz. So thinking about area of a triangle, of course, the area of a triangle formula that you were used to from before, back from elementary school even maybe, is 1/2 base times height. Now that height is always perpendicular to your base. Remember before I told you height is always a perpendicular segment. I just wanted to show you where this new formula that we're going to use comes from, just in case you're curious. So looking at the triangle that we have here, if we look at this, the 1/2 base times height, in this case the base of my triangle would actually be A, and the height would be H. Now, in this triangle, if I were to use trig to figure out what angle C is over here, that proportion would be opposite and hypotenuse would be H over B. If I solve for H, so multiply both sides by B, I end up with this expression right here. So if I take my 1/2 base times height, or in this case my 1/2 A times H, and I replace H with this B sine of C, then I get 1/2 A times B sine of C, which gives me this. Essentially what this is doing is it's bypassing the height. If I didn't know the height of this triangle, I could still find out the area of the triangle by just knowing these two sides and this angle there in between. So that's essentially what the formula is. And you will be given this formula in your formula booklet. Hold on just a second here. Let me see which version you're given. Okay, actually, you're given this first one here. Just like with a lot of our other formulas, though, you do need to be able to manipulate this one. This one is really easy to change around. All you need to know is side angle side. If you have two sides and the angle in between, then you can do this formula. So, first example actually is a little bit of a harder example because I don't have side angle side. But we want to find the area of this triangle, and then we also want to compute the percent error. Let's say that Bob approximated the area was going to be 760. It's not, so what is that percent error? This concept right here is something you need to be able to do for the exam. The formula right there, exactly the way it's written with the explanations and everything, that entire thing is in your formula booklet. So you don't have to memorize that, but you do need to know how it works. So we'll practice that with this example here. Okay, so looking over here, like I said, I don't have side angle side, but I have ways of finding sides and angles. So obviously I can just subtract from 180 right here to find that this missing angle is 61. So still side angle side, I need to find one of these other sides here. So I can really, at this point, find either this side or find this side. I am going to find this side right here. So I'm going to call this side here X. But like I said, I could also find the side over here. So law of sine is what I'm going to use. In fact, that's what I have to use. I can't even use law of cosine if I wanted to. So that's going to be 50 over the sine of 77, that's my complete pair, is equal to X over the sine of 42. So we'll cross multiply. 50 sine of 42 is equal to X sine of 77. Divide by X. And again, I don't need you to write all this stuff down if you're cool with just kind of skipping here. We end up with X is approximately 34.3. So if I put that in my picture over here, okay, now I have side angle side. I don't even have letters. Doesn't matter because I've got enough information to do what I need to do. So we're going to go ahead here and find that area. So area is equal to 1/2, 50, 34.3 sine of 61. It is always sign. Type that in your calculator exactly the way that it looks. Now, I actually did use the 34.3, but you could use answer if you really want the best answer possible. I think it's fine for you to go ahead and round that off there. But you're going to get your area is approximately 749.986, so 3 sig figs, 750 kilometers squared. Okay, so that is considered my exact value, even though I had to round it. That's my exact value. The approximate value is what Bob approximated it to be. It may or may not say the word approximate. It could say estimate or something like that, but it's not the value that was found, in this case, mathematically. So we're going to plug it into this formula right here. So that kind of funny looking E over there is my percent error, and that is actually a lowercase epsilon. So epsilon is the absolute value of VA, so 760, minus VE, 750, divided by VE, 750, times 100%. Okay. Now, if you are going to do this all in one step in your calculator, make sure that you put a parenthesis on the top. Otherwise, just subtract. So that's going to be 10 over 750 times 100%. Okay, well, 10 over 750 is 0.013 repeating times 100%. Really just means times 100, and your answer is going to be a percent. Now, the absolute values, I don't need those there, but if this did happen to be a negative, which would be if he approximated too low, then your percent error number here would be negative, but your percent error is always going to be a positive. So this ends up giving me 1.33, and again, that's a percent. So don't convert this, just take it times 100, but the percent here tells you that your answer is a percent. Okay, so it's pretty easy to figure out, especially when they give you that formula there. And like I said, you're going to have all of this wording, so you don't have to remember what those numbers stand for. And that is in, let's see, that is in the very first set of formulas under topic 1. Okay. All right, next example. We have a triangle below that has an area of 94 feet squared. Find angle B. Okay, well, to find the area of a triangle, I would use side angle side there. Just so happens that that angle I would use is angle B that I'm trying to find. So area is equal to 1/2 18 12 sine of B. Well, I know that the area is 94, so we're just going to solve this for B. Okay, so 94 is equal to half of 18 is 9. 9 times 12 is going to give me 108. Just double check there. Yep, 108. Sine of B. Make sure that you don't take half of 9 and half of 6, because now you've multiplied by a half twice. Divide both sides. Equal sine of B. Make sure you don't subtract, because these are multiplied together, so to get the sine of B by itself, you would divide. I don't need to reduce that. I can just go ahead and in my calculator do an inverse. Remember, anytime you're looking for an angle, you're going to do an inverse, and I get that B is approximately 60.5 degrees. Now, the second part of this question has nothing to do with the first part, but if you have an 8-ounce container of paint that will cover 16 feet squared, how many containers will you need, I guess I should have finished that thought there, to paint this triangle? Okay, well, okay, so I have 94 feet squared that I need to cover. Each container of paint is going to cover 16 feet squared. So I'm going to take my 94 feet squared, I'm going to divide it by 16 feet squared. The 8 ounces is just FYI. I don't need to know that the container is 8 ounces, but I need to know how many containers. So I divide the 94 and the 16. I end up with 5.875, and as far as I remember, that's exact. But that's not an acceptable answer. You can't buy 5.875 containers of paint, so the answer would be 6 containers. Okay? And you would be docked if you didn't say 6. Okay. All right. last part here, the sides of a parallelogram measure 10 centimeters and 18 centimeters. One angle of the parallelogram measures 46. What's the area of the parallelogram to the nearest square centimeter? Okay, so parallelogram, just a reminder, is like a slanted rectangle. So you're going to have two sides that are congruent, top and bottom, left and right. So just kind of going by the sizing of this, let's call this 10 and this 18. So this would also be 18 and this would also be 10. Now, one angle is 46. Angles are in a parallelogram. Opposite angles are congruent, so these two are congruent and these two are congruent. They didn't tell me which one's 46, but again, looking at the size of this one, this looks more like a 46 than that does. If you're drawing the picture yourself, honestly, it's not going to make a difference. You'll end up with the same answer no matter where you decide to put the 46. Okay, so we could do this a couple different ways, but with the information that we have, we really only have one way. To find the area of a parallelogram, it is base times height, just like a triangle, but I need that perpendicular height, which I don't know. I could use trig, except if I do this right here, how do I know what this piece is right here? If I knew this piece right here, then I could figure out this by using trig or using the Pythagorean theorem. Actually, I take that back. We can use trig right here because we've got a segment right here. But my way is going to be easier, actually, than doing that. So let's scrap this, but realize that that could be a possibility. For some reason there, I was thinking we needed two sides, but we don't. So here's what I'm going to think about here instead. So let's look at this parallelogram being cut in half. So these two triangles in the parallelogram would be congruent. And hey, look at this triangle right here. I've got side angle side. I can find the area of this triangle and take it times 2. So area is 1/2, 10, 18, sine of 46. Now, I am going to be taking this times 2. So actually, if you want to, you could just eliminate that 1/2 and just do 10, 18, sine of 46. But let's go ahead, just in case we didn't think about that. My area is going to be approximately 64.74, but leave that in your calculator. Go ahead and double it, and my area is 129.48 such and such. So it's the nearest square centimeter. That's going to be 129 centimeters squared. Now, in case you're looking at this and thinking, well, doesn't the 8 make the 4 go to a 5, and so isn't that going to make that 130? Yes, but I rounded twice. I'm only supposed to round once. So if I'm rounding to the nearest centimeter, that's the 9. I look to the right, the 4 makes the 9 stay, so 129 centimeters squared. Okay, so just like everything else, look at the questions, look at the solutions, let me know if you need help. Again, in certain situations, like in this case, if I had found the height, I would have gotten a slightly different answer. Trying to think about the other ones. I think the other ones all pretty much would have been the same. But, let me know. And like I said, this section will not be on your quiz, but it will definitely be on your test.